What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Break Room. And this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at our FFDD400K. This is a cool little four-piece kit that's going to help you guys out. And we're going to put it to the test and just see how strong it is. So you guys stick around because this one is going to be pretty cool. Alright guys, like I mentioned in the intro today, we're going to be taking a look at our FFDD400K. This is a really cool four-piece kit, and it is the firm flex adapters that's in here. What makes these really cool, as the part number suggests, is a firm flex dual drive. So there's a four-piece kit. It has a 1/4 inch adapter, a 10mm, an E10, and a 1/4 inch bit driver. So they're all useful tools, and they have some really cool features. As you guys know, with this type of universal, you normally have it get floppy over time and have to put tape or O-rings on it. Well, VIM has what we like to refer to as VIM Agra. It will stay floppy never again because the spring-loaded universal inside will keep it where you need it. If you notice on the bottom side, it is a 1/4 inch drive, so you can use that on your ratchets like a normal universal adapter that won't go floppy. There's also on the bottom a hexagon shape, and that's designed so you can use it with any 11mm wrench. As you guys see, we have the SAR11. You put it in there, and now you have an ultra low profile adapter that you can use that won't go floppy on you. But VIM has made it even better and came out with the RW1113. As you guys see here, their part numbers actually make sense. So it's 11mm on one side and a 13mm on the other. If you look closely, you'll notice a wire indent piece inside the ratcheting head, and on the sockets there is a small groove. This is to lock them in there so they don't fall out on you. It's a very useful tool. So be sure to check this out with this kit if you decide to purchase it. So the other options in here, like I mentioned earlier, is a 10mm. You have a 6-point 10mm. You have the eTorx. And you have a 1/4 inch bit driver that you can put any bits that you prefer to in this bit driver to get in super tight access and not have to worry about it going floppy. So this is a cool little kit. Comes in the foam tray as you see. But we all want to know how strong these are. So today we're going to be putting them to the test. We're going to take our 10mm. We're going to go over here to our test bench, and we're going to use a 10mm hex socket. And we're just going to see just how strong it is. So this is a cool kit. I know it's going to help you guys, but I know you want to see how strong it is. So let's go take a look. Okay guys, real quick before we get into this test, because some of you guys may or may not realize what a 10mm bolt is. A 10mm bolt, the head size is obviously a 10mm, but it's classified as a M6 bolt. As you can see how small this is. So I want to run over some torque specs because I don't want anybody to have some crazy expectations that this should do 200 or 300 foot-pounds, because in reality, that's just not what we're working with here. So I'm going to put on the screen some of the torque specs from bolt manufacturers. That way you guys will kind of know what to expect before we go into this test. Okay, the first slide here that you see, it shows that it's a 10mm bolt head that has a 6mm diameter bolt. The next slide here also confirms a 10mm head is an M6 bolt. So this next chart, I'm going to blow it up, that way you guys can see it, because it is definitely hard to read. It's super small print, but it kind of gives you the torque specs of the bolts per grade, whether it be a grade 5, grade 8, and etc. So when you blow this up, you can see that it's got Newton meters on the top. It's got foot-pounds underneath it. And when you look at the M6 column for a grade 5 bolt, you're looking at 3.1 foot-pounds, a grade 8, 7.3. You drop down to 10.3 on the next one, and finally the most foot-pounds that it's rated for is 12.1. Now obviously it's a tiny bolt, so I just wanted to make that clear before we start the test. As you guys can see, it is not broken. We've not run the test yet, but I just want to set a realistic bar for expectations, because I know a lot of our test goes extremely high, but You know, if this makes it to 30, 35 foot-pounds, we have greatly exceeded the ANSI torque specs that this should do. So let's take a look and see what it'll do. All right, guys, so we're over here at our test bench. You guys have seen this before and you kind of know how it works. But for you guys that are just new to the channel, I'll run over it real quick. We've got our meter and it will be set to peak torque. So no matter what that highest number is, it will lock on and hold to that. We've got a 10 millimeter hex in here since we're using the 10 millimeter out of the FFDD400K. That's what we're going to use. It will turn in this. It'll lock on here, and that way we'll know the reading. So we're going to turn our meter on. As you guys can see, we're going to calibrate it. It's all zeros. It will display the 1623 because that's the maximum force that can be applied on this meter. I'll be putting on some safety glasses for this because we don't know what's going to happen. And we're going to be using our VIM HDR F410, which is our 1/4 inch flex head comfort grip ratchet. And to keep a nice smooth torque curve, we're going to be using our TH21 extendable handle. And we have our WE26A wrench extender head on here. And the only reason we have this is just to keep a nice, smooth, easy torque, and that way we can read the numbers. So I'll recalibrate that one more time. As you guys seen, it got to 0. We'll get our FFDD400K kit, which has the 10 millimeter in it. As you guys can see, it is the Firm Flex dual drive adapter. Okay, so we're going to get our wrench extender put on our ratchet. We're going to put our adapter on here, and we're going to start applying force. As you guys can see, we're up to 15, 19. Okay, so I felt it slip. So I felt it start giving away at 35 as you guys see me stop and look at it. And that's when the ear here started spreading and it cracked through the outside of the 10 millimeter. So it got to 35 foot-pounds before it gave loose. And there is the results. So obviously you guys know when you're using a tool, you can feel when it gets to that weak point when it breaks, just like I did there. So it's always a good idea to stop before you go to catastrophic damage, but this is the break room, and that's why we pushed it on to the point of catastrophe. But anyway, guys, that's the video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You guys have a great week. Like always, check these tools out on your local tool truck or www.vimtools.com. You guys have a great week, and we will catch you next time.